Are you struggling with the unbearable itch morning, noon and night? Your itching is so constant that you cannot sleep whatsoever. Is it such a deep bone itch that you literally cannot reach it, yet your skin is completely ruined, it's shredded to pieces, oozing, bleeding, and yet it's still itchy? If it's yes to all these questions, then you probably need to have a look at what you're eating, because in this video today, I am going to give you 10 foods that actually cause that itching. Hi there, my name's Layla and this channel is dedicated to all of those of you with eczema and topical steroid withdrawal. That's right, I've had eczema myself since birth and I struggled with topical steroid withdrawal last year. However, I managed to heal myself in almost 3 months. I'm super proud to share with you guys today my experience as to how I overcame my TSW and how I managed to completely cure my eczema completely holistically through diet, healing from the inside out. I'm going to share with you at the very end of this video what is in this hot drink. I drink it 3 or 4 times a day and it's really helped improve my skin and it's really helped calm my inflammation from the inside out. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I will share with you what is in this cup and why it's so beneficial to healing my skin. But before we get started, you guys, as always, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up for this video if you find it of value. And please, please, please leave me some comments down below, as I'd really love you to share with everybody what foods make you itch and what foods you think doesn't make you itch, so we can all share this information collectively together. So I just want to add in here that I'm not a trained medical professional. This is the diet that I have found successful to me. So by all means, do your research, consult your medical practitioner if need be. This is the diet that really worked for me best, and I have done my own research. So it's based on my experience and my research to find the foods that cause the inflammation, that causes the itching. You might not find that those foods are completely applicable to you. This is really based upon my own experience that I wanted to put in this video for you guys. So firstly, what is itching? Why is it that we itch? What is making us itch? Basically, itching is a sign of inflammation. It's a sign of inflammation that's going on the inside. Our body is not balanced, it's not right. The microbiome is out of whack and we need to straighten that out, reduce that inflammation so that from the inside out, we can heal our skin. What we eat and what we put into our bodies is so crucial in terms of how we look after our health and our well-being. If our skin is red and oozing and itching and bleeding as a result of us digging our nails into our skin, then it basically is an indication that our bodies are inflamed. And in order to not be inflamed, we need to put the fire out from all angles. To put the fire out from all angles, then we need to look at our diet, what we're putting into our bodies, eliminate that inflammation so that we can have a healthy, happy gut health bio, so that we can have healthy, happy skin. So the first food source is gluten. Most of us all know that gluten does not sit well with those of us with skin inflammatory conditions. Things such as white flour, wheat, bread, pasta, these are all very heavy glutens. And typically back in the day, there weren't these types of foods. We actually just had our meat and our vegetables and very, very little grain. Grain has become such a huge part in modern day diets, and a lot of us actually cannot literally stomach the amount of gluten that we're putting into our guts. The gut health is very, very crucial, and often the gluten that we absorb can kind of act almost like a sticky glue. And this sticky glue literally sticks to our gut lining, which doesn't allow us to pass through the nutrients. At the same time, it's inflaming our guts, and by inflaming our guts, we're not having healthy, happy bowel movements. And our bowel movements are very, very important when it comes to having a healthy gut. So as you can see, this vicious cycle can really overwhelm you, so it's best to cut out gluten altogether if you have an inflammatory skin condition. By replacing these glutens, these pastas, these flours, etc., if you start replacing those with quinoa or rice or a sweet potato as your carbohydrate, rather than these heavy glutens, then you're just allowing that gut to start to rebalance itself. So food source number 2 that causes itching is dairy, which I think a lot of us already know, but just to reiterate exactly why dairy is so bad in terms of our eczema and topical steroid withdrawal, and we need to avoid it. Basically, there's a lot of allergies and insensitivities linked to dairy, and when dairy is removed, we seem to see a lot of sensitivities and allergies sort of subsiding quite a lot. At the same time, dairy actually creates these tiny little holes in our gastrointestinal tract, which allows larger food particles to pass through, which creates more sensitivities to food and more allergic reactions. Food source number 3 is nightshades. Nightshades are your tomatoes, your peppers or capsicums, be it the red, the green or the yellow, your aubergine, your eggplant and your white potato, and also paprika and cayenne pepper, some of these little spices as well. These are nightshades and they all contain a chemical called solanine, and solanine is a chemical that can really cause a lot of inflammation under the skin, and something we really need to avoid is not to overburden our skin with extra inflammatory issues. They're very much linked as well to arthritis. So by removing these, which is another inflammatory condition, arthritis, if we can remove the nightshades from our diet, then we should see quite a lot of subsidence in terms of our itching. So number 4 is high-releasing histamine foods. Now, you might have heard me talk about these in some of my previous videos. Go ahead and check out this video about what I eat in a day and how I avoid the high-releasing histamines, because the high-releasing histamines is so important. And these are your avocado, your tomato again, you've got your spinach, you've got your berries, all except blueberries, you've got your mango, your banana, your kiwis. These are very high-releasing histamine foods that can cause extreme aggravation and itching and sneezing, alongside with a lot of other almost hay fever-like symptoms and a lot of bumpy red rashes, hives on your skin. And you know, when you have a food source, do allow like 3 days after you've eaten it to test for a reaction. And you might find that you react very quickly to these high-releasing histamine foods, or you might be a slower reactor to these high-releasing histamine foods. So that's why it's very difficult to tell what these insensitivities are and how to determine them, whether or not you should keep them in your diet or not. But for me, the high-releasing histamine foods was absolutely critical that I got rid of them. I am definitely a histamine intolerant person, and that was really the key and the core of how I actually overcame my TSW. It was putting that fire out. It was really targeting on those high-releasing histamine foods alongside all these other foods that I've incorporated in this video. But that was really important for me because I did used to have a banana in my smoothie every day. I used to have avocado on toast every day. Once I cut out these high-releasing histamine foods, my skin literally went from being very red and inflamed to literally 7 days later having about 50% of my inflammation completely reduced. So I forgot one other high-releasing histamine, you guys. I'm so sorry, but it's chocolate. You got to avoid chocolate. It's the devil. Not only is it high in sugar, but at the same time, that chocolate is a really high-releasing histamine, so avoid it at all costs. I know, I'm not making any friends here. What can I say? Food number 5 is citrus fruit, I'm afraid. Citrus fruit is really high in acidity, and that acidity really plays havoc on our gut once again, and it's all about keeping our gut in good balance. Yes, citrus fruit is high in vitamin C, but we can get our vitamin C from an ascorbic acid, for example. You can buy it as a supplement and always stock up on that concentrated vitamin C that you can have as a supplement. Citrus fruit, I'm afraid, does cause a lot of itching. It causes a lot of inflammation due to the acidity levels in the actual food source. Your citrus fruits include your oranges, your lemons, your limes, and your grapefruit. Lime is probably the least acidic citrus fruit out of all of them. Maybe once in a while a little bit of lime, but otherwise, you know, having your daily oranges and your grapefruit every morning for breakfast, you really have to start eliminating that and introducing more healthy gut biobalancing foods instead. So food source number 6 is soy products, soybeans, soya sauce, tamari sauce, it's all the same, I'm afraid. Soy is really highly genetically modified, it's full of glutamites, it's full of GSMs, and this really also plays havoc on our gut lining, and it's something we really need to avoid. At the same time as well, that'll lead me quite swiftly on to number 7, which is also corn products. They kind of come from the same over-processing as soy does, in the terms that it has the glutamites and it has also the GSMs, and corn really does very nothing for us in terms of our gut. Food source number 8 is eggs. Eggs, which is one of the food sources that I really love, and now slowly I've reintroduced a little bit of egg into my diet, maybe 1 every 2 weeks. However, eggs is a really high allergic food, and especially linked to eczema, and the allergic reaction and the hypersensitivities just means that if you're in total inflammation and you're completely itchy, avoid the eggs. Number 9 is nuts, which is also very similar to eggs in the fact that nuts are very high allergens. Better to go for eating seeds over nuts, because nuts are really common in terms of intolerances and high allergens. They also run a lot of parallels alongside tree pollens, such as those who have hay fever might find that they have hay fever, and then they also have quite a lot of intolerances or sensitivities towards nuts. So nuts and eggs you need to be very careful with. And lastly, number 10, sugar. Sugar is the biggest killer on the planet at the moment in terms of what we eat. Sugar is really a huge inflammatory food substance, and go ahead and check out my video above here as I really delve into all the different ways in which sugar can be quite harmful towards the body and how much you really need to avoid sugar. We can replace refined sugar with natural sweeteners, dates, even a bit of maple syrup. We need that collagen, and you can find out a little bit more about how it actually tears up all our collagen at the same time, which we so desperately need to overcome through our eczema and topical steroid withdrawal. So lastly, you guys, I promised at the end of this video, if you stuck around, that I would share with you what my hot beverage was today, and it's rooibos tea. And rooibos is a type of bush plant. It's a red bush plant that comes from South Africa, and this tea is really anti-inflammatory, so it's brilliant for healing your gut lining, for helping put out that fire, for helping calm down your itchy skin, and I really love it, and it's a great option to switch out your tea and coffee. So go ahead and check out rooibos tea and see what you think of it, and let me know in the comments down below if you enjoy the taste of it. Sometimes you can get it infused with some apple or some pear or a little bit of cinnamon just to add to a little bit of taste, but it really is my beverage of choice, and I always take my little rooibos tea bags out with me wherever I might go. If I go to a friend's house or even a coffee shop, and I just ask for some hot water and I put my rooibos tea in, so I just don't feel like I'm missing out on life when I meet up with friends or go over to other people's houses for a little hot beverage. So that's it from me, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next one, and until then, happy healing. Bye for now.